How is the weather near you? I don't know where you are, but no matter where you are in the world, because we have listeners all over the world, which is super cool. Um, we are in Minnesota, and that is in the US, and we normally have very cold weather in the winter. And I don't know what is happening, but for some reason, the weather has been absolutely phenomenal lately. Like, I was out with bare feet helping my husband put Christmas decorations away a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't even cold, like at all. And it has been so amazing. We still have green grass, and for some reason, it's just giving you all the spring cleaning vibes. And I know this is probably going to come back to bite us in the butt because we're probably just going to get dumped on and have a really late summer start. But oh well, like we'll take it while we can get it. I just hope that farmers and stuff like that their crops aren't just terrible. Ugh. Anyway, getting off topic, we are talking about decluttering and organizing any space, because when I feel like spring cleaning, you just get this feeling that everything just has to go. And that's kind of the mode I'm in right now. I'm like, I just want to clear everything out, get our home just fresh and vibrant. And if you're anything like me, then you might be feeling that too. And if you are feeling overwhelmed and your house is feeling cluttered and you're not used to having this process of decluttering and organizing, I wanted to give you some really super simple steps that you could take and declutter and organize any space in your home. So we're going to break it down and make it super simple, and hopefully this is helpful for you. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. Now, this is going to work for really any space that you have to declutter and organize. I mean, it could be your car, it could be your garage space, a shop, it could be a closet, your fridge, kitchen cupboards, your toy room, whatever it is, you can use this method to make it super, super simple. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to not focus on too many places at once. You're going to be way better off if you take this method and you write down on your, weekly planner one space every week for the next, you could do it all year if you wanted to, but say for the next month. So for the next 4 weeks, you are going to take one space each week and just focus on just decluttering that space. Now, it could be an entire room. It could be an entire area in your home. It could be just one single cupboard if you're feeling overwhelmed, because one little thing is going to get you one step closer to completing the full project. And that is better than nothing. So don't make it overwhelming. Keep it super, super simple. And if you only have time for a little bit, then just do a little bit. But the more you do this, the easier it will be, and you'll start to get this rhythm because you have a routine to declutter and organize a space. And the more you do it, the more you will find that it is easier and easier, and it's quicker and quicker, and you will find that you can declutter and organize a space in no time, and eventually you probably won't even think about it. You'll see it and you'll just do it, and it won't be taking up all the stress and the overwhelm that is currently filling your life, because you can see all those things that need to be done. And but we don't need to get there right away. Right now, just focus on one little space. So we're going to go through 4 simple steps to declutter and organize any space. The first thing I want you to do is remove. Just pick your space and take everything out. So let's pretend this is a kitchen cabinet. you're going to look at it, say it is the snack cabinet or whatever it is. If you have, well, let's use an actual space in our house. So we have a cabinet, we have a very small kitchen, but we have like this cupboard that has some pantry items and snacks and canned goods. So if that kind of gives you an idea, it's 3 shelves and it's just kind of an assortment of things. So if I were to declutter and organize this particular space, my first project is to remove. So we're going to take everything out of there. It's going to be kind of a mess at the beginning, but it'll be okay. You can just take everything out. And then you're going to make sure you wipe it all down, clean it all out. So when you remove everything, you're also making sure it's clean. So depending on your space, this might be, wiping it down with some cleaner and a rag. It might be dusting it. It might be vacuuming the space or sweeping and mopping. Whatever space you're doing, you're going to have to adjust. But basically, you just want to remove everything and just clean the space out. You want a fresh slate to start with. Once you do that, then we're going to go to step 2, which is choose. Now, this one can be difficult, but it's a lot easier to choose the items that you want to keep rather than choose the items you want to get rid of. It's really hard getting rid of things sometimes. I was doing this recently with one of my desk drawers, and it's like all these like little office supplies that I love office supplies, but it's a lot of office supplies I don't need. And I started clearing out the drawer and it was like, okay, what do I need to get rid of? And I looked at the pile and there was like nothing there. But really, when I thought about it, I'm like, okay, what do I actually want to keep from this pile? What will I actually use? It was a lot less than what I would have just kept. So there's this weird mind trick for it. It's easier to just pick what you want to keep. You end up with less than if you're just picking what you want to get rid of. So this step 2 is to choose the items you want to keep. So in this instance, for the kitchen cabinet or cupboard, whatever you call it, if I pulled everything out and I had it on my counter, I'm going to take another clear counter space and I'm going to look at my pile of stuff and I'm going to pull out everything I want to keep and I'm going to put it in a new section on my counter. All this is going to do is separate the items to get rid of. It's just going to make it easier to only choose the items that we're actually going to use. And then once you do that and set it into a new pile, you go on to step 3, which is getting rid of the rest. I would call this like boxing the rest. In the instance of a kitchen, you might not necessarily have a ton to donate. In some instances, maybe you would, because if you have a lot of canned goods, you could donate canned goods to different charities and things. But depending on the space in your home that you're organizing, you're going to go to this step of box it. And you can do, this includes, donations, or maybe it's just trash or recycling, but you're just going to clear out the rest and get rid of it. That will leave you only with your clean space and your items that you want to keep. Then we're going to move into step 4, which is your final step, and it's organize and categorize. So you're going to take the items remaining and you're just going to separate them into categories. And this is where it gets kind of fun, because you can do, if it's this kitchen cupboard, then I could put all the pasta in one section. I could put all the canned goods in one section. I could put all the snacks in another. And I just kind of separate them out on the counter, and then I can put them back in the cupboard. And if I am putting them back, I can put them straight onto the shelves. Now, if you have bins or baskets already that you have in your house somewhere, you could put those in, and maybe all the snacks go in one bin. Maybe all the pasta goes in another bin. But don't go out and just buy a ton. You want to really see if this method works for you, if it's organized the way you want. And then if you really love the way it is and it's working well for you and you want to get, matching bins, then go ahead and do that. But make sure that this method actually works before you go out and spend a ton of money. The biggest thing is to just make sure you organize it in the way that makes sense for what you would naturally go to. So if I know that I'm going to look for pasta and I would look for all the pasta in the same spot, then I want to make sure that all the pasta is going to be in that same spot. I wouldn't put, rice with the pasta if I know that I'm going to look for rice by the tomatoes. And I don't know why I'm using that example. It's just an example. So say you're doing a linen closet, and if you have the all the blankets and towels and things like that, and then you have sheets in a different closet, you wouldn't put your pillowcases with the towels if you know you're going to go look for them with the sheets. It's just something like that, where make sure you're putting things away where you would naturally think to go get it. And then just make it easier on yourself so you don't have to think so hard when you're looking for things. So this is also a really great time that if you do the bins or jars or anything like that, if you have a label maker, or you can buy little stickers at Walmart or Target, or even if you just want to do masking tape because that's all you have right now, grab a roll of masking tape and a permanent marker and just mark what you have to make it organized for you and your family and to just keep it simple. So that is the 4 steps. So to recap those, it is 1 is remove and clean it out. So get everything out of there and wipe it all down. Number 2 is to choose. This is where you pick only the items you want to keep and set them into a new pile. Number 3 is to box the rest, whether it's donations, trash, recycle, whatever it is, get rid of it, box it all up. Number 4 is to organize and categorize. This is where you take those remaining items, you section them out and put them in their categories. You can add them to bins, you can label them, whatever you want to do, and then put them back and return them, and you will have the most beautiful, organized, and decluttered space. And you can just take this little method and apply it to every little area of your house over time, and you will be shocked at how much easier it becomes to declutter and organize your space. And another tip that I have for you that's not part of this method, but it works really well for this, is when you box things up to donate, this can be an overwhelming process. Like, you can think about donations and it's overwhelming just to think about when you're going to go and actually do the drop off, even though they make it really easy. And a lot of times you can just drive up and somebody even comes out and helps you unload. It can still feel daunting and like a task that you just don't have time for. So one thing that I would say is, for now, this is a really helpful way to do it, is to find a space in your home that is out of the way, that is not going to feel cluttered. Now, we have this space in our basement, and we have our laundry in our basement, so we actually have it behind our washing machine. We have a donation box that sits right there. And it is like this open space in our basement behind the washing machine that has this box, and every time we are doing anything in our home that we find something that we don't want anymore, it goes in this box. And once it's full, we can take it out, or once we hit that date on the calendar, we can go and just take it. So what I would suggest doing is find a space in your home that's out of the way, that's not going to feel cluttered, but your family knows about it, and find this, a big box or a big bag or whatever it is. Put it in your home and label it for donations. And as you come across things, or as you do these declutter and organization challenges throughout your house, get everything into that box and just let it fill. And put a date on your calendar right away, whether it's, every couple weeks, depending on how much you're doing this. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a quarter. Put it on your calendar and just mark out whatever time you need to do that drop off. And then as you go through these spaces, you can just bring all of those items to your declutter or to your donation box and let them stack up, and then go, and when that time comes, you can go do the donation. So that way you're not feeling like you have to drop off every single time you do this process, because it's going to prevent you from doing it if you think, in your mind that you're going to have to declutter and organize and then do the drop off. And that just seems like too much work. It's a lot easier if you can focus on the space, put the items aside, but make sure it's on your calendar of when you're actually going to do it so that it doesn't sit there for, like the next 2 years or just get, tossed around in your trunk for how many months, because that happens too. So get it on your calendar of when you're going to do it. And then it won't be so stressful to drop it off, and you can just move through your house and organize space by space. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.